Hi everyone, this is Heather here with Treasured Hometown. Today I actually just wanted to take a moment to show you how to create these super fun little amigurumi eyes. Now these I actually added onto them just a small little clip. It's just a little jump ring and a lobster claw clasp. You could easily add onto it instead a little keychain in order to hang it, or add them to a garland or something around the house, however you wish to use for these. But yes, like every one of my patterns, I will have all the materials used in this pattern linked in the video description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. The supplies for today's videos we'll need very simply. We need some scissors in order to cut our yarn, a darning needle in order to weave in our ends. Yes, I do often use a little threader to help me thread the yarn into the end of the needle. We'll also be using a 4mm crochet hook. We'll need a little bit of polyfill in order to complete this project. And I am also, you can use simply like a key ring or something, but I'm just going to use a jump ring and a lobster claw clasp in order to hang our item. And then we're also going to need some yarn. We don't need a lot of yarn in order to complete this project, but we will need 3 different colors of yarn. I am using black, this is a blue turquoise, and a white. For our first round, we're going to start off with our black yarn. We're going to create a magic ring. So if we hold our yarn between our thumb and forefinger, wrap around our 2 fingers, so our working ends towards the front, and then just lay it towards the back. Put our hook, I find it's easiest, go between your 2 fingers, grab the working end of the yarn and pull it through. And then from here, we're going to chain 3. For this project, this chain 3 does count as a double crochet. Now moving forward, we want to put 9 more double crochets into this magic ring. So we yarn over, go into the ring, pull up a loop, and now you can see we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and go through your first 2 loops, yarn over and go through your last 2 loops. So we've made 1, now we need to make 8 more. For our next round, we're going to use our blue, and we're going to start off and create a slip knot. And then we're simply going to insert our yarn into one of the stitches from the previous row. Now we have that attached. The next thing is simply chain 1. Now this chain 1 does in fact count as a stitch for this round. Now our next stitch, what we want to do is do a long single crochet, which is essentially, it's just like a loosely worked single crochet. And we're actually going to work that right into the space between the next 2 stitches. So we're worked into the top of this stitch. Now we want to pull this apart and we're going to work into the space in between. And then our next stitch, we're going to work into the top of that next stitch and do 1 single crochet. So we're kind of like doing an increase for this round, but we're working with our second stitch of it in between the 2 stitches of the round instead of putting them into the top 2 loops. So we're working in between, and we just want to repeat this going all the way around. So we did 1 single crochet into the top 2 loops, and then our next stitch is going to be a long single crochet in between the 2 stitches. And we just keep repeating, going all the way around. And then our last stitch is going into the space between where we started with our chain 1 and attached. And then we're going to slip stitch into that first chain 1 of our round in order to join. And there we are with round 2. Now round 2 should have a total of 20 stitches made. And you can go ahead and tie off. All right, now that we have all 9 double crochets made plus your chain 3, which counted as 1, you can go ahead and give it a count just to be sure. And then we want to pull on the tail end of our magic ring in order to close. And then we want to, into that third chain of our first chain 3 of our round, we want to slip stitch into there in order to join the round. And there we are with round 1. And we can go ahead and tie off. For our next round, we want to take our white yarn, create our slip knot, and attach it into one of the stitches. And from here, we're going to chain 3. Now for this round, that chain 3 does in fact count as a stitch. Now into our next stitch, what we're going to want to do is do a double crochet. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through your last 2 loops. And then into our next stitch, we want to put 2 double crochets. And then into our next stitch, we're going to do 1 double crochet. And then into this stitch here, our next one, we're going to put 2 treble crochets. So yarn over twice, go into the stitch, pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over, go through your next 2 loops, yarn over, and go through your last 2 loops. And we want to put 2 of those into that stitch. And then in our next stitch, we want to put 1 more treble crochet. Now this next stitch, what we're going to do is put 1 treble crochet. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet into that same stitch. And then into our next stitch, we're going to put 1 double crochet. And then our next stitch here, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And then our next stitch gets 1 double crochet. And then our next stitch gets 2 double crochets. And then our next stitch gets 1 double crochet. Our next stitch gets 2 double crochets. And then our next stitch gets 1 double crochet. So if you want to come back, you can find where we did our first double crochet and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There should be 11 double crochet stitches made here. Now working into our next stitch, we're going to put 2 treble crochets. And then our next stitch gets 1 treble crochet. Then our next stitch gets 1 treble crochet and 1 double crochet. And then our next stitch gets 1 double crochet. Next stitch gets 2 double crochets. And then this last stitch gets 1 double crochet. And then we want to slip stitch into that 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round in order to join. And then from here you can go ahead and tie off with the first one. And now you want to go back to the beginning and repeat this to make 1 more of these, but on your second one, do not tie off. All right, so now we have our 2 halves created. So now what we're going to do is start working into our next stitch, and we want to put the right side, or should I say wrong sides, facing each other. Now to make sure you line them up correctly, if we look at this, we're going 4 into the top of the 4th double crochet from where we start our treble crochets. So if we look at our wrong side and we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, this right here is going to be where we want to attach with the other side for the wrong side. And we're just going to single crochet into that stitch, and we're just going to work all the way around doing 1 single crochet into each stitch throughout the entire piece. All right, now here we are, just a few stitches from the end. What I'm going to do is take some of the polyfill and start stuffing the eye. It does not take much stuffing at all to fully fill this. And once you have it stuffed as full or as lightly as you wish, go ahead and continue creating your single crochets in order to finish closing off the entire outside of your eye. And go ahead and slip stitch into your first stitch in order to join. And there we are with our lovely little eye. Alright, now I've gone ahead and added my little jump ring and clasp right onto my eye, just because I wanted to be able to hang it off of. Like right now I have a thing about adding little charms and everything all over my purse. You could also use simply a key ring for on your keys, or however you wish to utilize it. But I will actually go ahead and link in the video description where you can get either just some simple key rings to use for on these, or also these little clasps. So be sure to check out the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a little thumbs up like. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And if you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button along with that bell notification next to it so you can get an update every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.